BBBoxing. That's the one.
What up, team? Hope y'all doing well.
Subscribe to BBBoxing. That's the one.
Sorry about that, team. What up, team? Hope y'all doing well. Thought I'd turn that goddamn volume off. Oh well, it is what it is. We're here now, and inadvertently did a sound check. Sounded a bit like Rodney Rude today. But hey, a weekend of boxing was a little bit interesting. We do a quick sound check, make sure my mic's working here. What it is? Yeah, that's working. That's working. It's all good. Alright, so like I said, hope y'all doing well. Hope everybody's safe. Hope everybody enjoyed the boxing over the weekend. We saw in the main event, we saw Billy Joe Saunders quit on a stool. But news has come out and confirmed that he has multiple fractures in his orbital bone, effectively compromising the integrity of his skull. Like Daniel Dubois, like Cal Brook has had it done twice. You know, it is what it is. If he had have continued, he could have been facing blindness, death, or worse. So all of y'all out there saying Billy Joe's a coward.
Always scan this section.
Excuse me. Until you've been in that situation, you can't comment on it. Until you've got your face broken in multiple places and you're taking heavy punches from a power puncher, you ain't got a valid opinion. Billy Joe did this himself, right after Daniel Dubois busted his orbital against Joe Joyce.
Always scan this section.
Oh, you freaking thing, shut up. After he broke his Daniel Dubois got his face broken, then he made some comments about if my teeth were missing, if my brain was beaten, my nose was busted, all this, I would still keep going until I was knocked out. I'd rather quit on my rather be beaten on my back than be putting on my stool or taking a knee. But now he's actually in that situation. He quit on a stool. Yes, he opened his big mouth and he's made himself look like a total hypocrite. But, like I said, until you're in that situation, you don't know what you'd do. You can say you'd do this and you'd do that, but it's just words. So we have Adam Fahey in the house. Good to have you in, brother. We have Stephen4722 also in the house, aka Mala, also in the house, man. Good to have you in. I'm going to drop a link in a minute or two. I'll just get through a bit of a ramble and let a few people come in. Didn't get to see any of the fights. I was surprised BJS quit, but finding out the damage he suffered, it's not surprising. No, not at all. But he has made himself look like a total hypocrite after what he said about Daniel Dubois and then turning around and quitting on his stool. Hey, so I've just noticed something that I've stuffed up, so give me a second here. I will just adjust this tiny tad. This. That'll do it there. Running adjustments. So yeah, it is what it is. The only heavyweight fight that was on that card is this picture I've got here of Frank Sanchez hitting Nagy Aguilera on the shoulder. On the shoulder, and he claims it was behind the head. Now I've got a little video I want to show about this in just a second. I'm just going to make sure everything is tickety boo how it is. Kind of running things as I go here, so I've just got to get my browser connected. Show you this, right? Where is it? I've got to find it. Click here. Sorry. There it is. It's not. I mean. Up Chrome. There we go. Now I've got it connected. So I'll get over and we'll watch this video through. It might get me. Hopefully it does. But you got to see what actually happened here. Getting this sorted. Showing. Oh, it's. Let me show my. Oh, it's because it's YouTube. YouTube. Does it not showing it? God damn it. I might not be able to show you this. So let me see if this shows my browser when I flick it over. Nah, it's black screen. Oh no. Oh, the video's paused. Let's see if it will play. I don't know if it'll show or not. I've got a picture here.
Sergio, you hate to say he's faking it, but what say you after watching that skimming alone?
Look, unless that punch that grazed off the left shoulder, he was complaining about his left shoulder, and then he's complaining about the head. The punch landed harder on the shoulder than it did the head. If you're going to see it here, it glances off the shoulder right there, then it cuffs behind the head.
I told you he was going to do it. I told you. I told you he was going to do it.
No, that's fine.
He did it the whole fight.
That's awesome.
Listen, that's his coach. I know you guys probably can't see what I'm watching here, which is unfortunate. But the punch was a right hand, bounced off Aguilera's shoulder as he was trying to lean away, and it didn't even hit him in the head. It kind of slipped, bounced off the shoulder and then slipped over the head. And he was trying to turn his head away to take away some of the input. Now he complains about getting hit in the back of the head. Now, there were a few cuffing shots that were like on the air during the fight, and I thought Aguilera was starting to get broken down. Now, to me, he was looking for an opportunity to get out of the fight without getting knocked the fuck out, right? So
That's awesome.
Now you hear Bobby Benton in the corner say he did it the whole fight.
just moving it back to the start.
So that could be part of the frustration.
There's another.
Of Aguilera, but as we
Yeah,
watch
it
the
bounces
replay
off
again,
the shoulder and kind of lands in the
was
neck.
taken by the
And Aguilera puts his hand up like he's hitting the back of the head, walks away like he's not stumbling or anything, gets over to the ropes, then leans on the ropes and falls down on the ropes, lies on the ground and screaming agony like he's been hit in the back of the head. Needs a freaking Oscar. This is worse than Alexander Dimitrenko. This Nagy Aguilera dude, I had some respect for him prior to this fight because he's been quite durable. He went the distance with a few fighters you may know. Went 8 rounds with Dominic Brazil, and we know Dominic Brazil hits hard. I don't think Frank Sanchez hits as hard, but He's like an accumulative puncher. I think it was starting to get to Aguilera, and he looked for a way out. He took it. Him and his team, bitching and moaning to the referee, gave the referee the incentive to turn this into a technical decision. This should have been a technical knockout. He should have been counted, and he should have been kicked out of the ring like Alexander Dimitrenko was when he fought Joseph Parker. Get up or I'll count you out. Didn't get up, got counted out, lost by knockout. And that's what this should have been. And it really pisses me off because this, well, let me show you this. Let me just see if this is showing up. Yes, this is showing up. Okay, this is my bets for the weekend, right? This was my money bet, my 7-leg multi. It's $19. I had 20 on it, but I mistakenly picked Liam Smith instead of Kurbanov, so I had to cash it out, lose $1, and then remake the bet. But if we look at the bet here, right, I got the Kurbanov fight. I got that right. That was the one I changed. Got the Calvin Davis fight right. Got the Keyshawn Davis fight. This is the one. Instead of just picking a result, I decided to go for a knockout. I thought it was, because it's 10 rounds, I thought it's going to be a cumulative from Frank Sanchez, like I said. But this technical decision that should have been a knockout screwed me over. I got the next fight right. This one here. This is the other one that I missed. The Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. I picked Saunders grouped 4 rounds. I picked Canelo grouped 4 rounds, 9-12 at $4.20, and that pushed my odds right up. So the potential earnings for this fight, if that one had have been, the Aguilera fight had have been called correctly a TKO, I just missed on like $514 with only putting $20 in. I was pretty pissed, but me being a cautious man, I did put hedges on, luckily for me. So Saul Canelo Alvarez knockout round 7 and 8. That was in case I missed the 9-12. And that was the one that came through for me. I only put $6.50 on it to cover the $30 that I'd spent for the weekend, and it won $36, right? $36.40. This was my other hedge here. I had to put something on a draw for Canelo when it was paying $23, but I only put a small amount on because I didn't think it was that likely. I always thought that Canelo was going to stop Saunders later on in the fight, one way or another. Once he's downloaded that information, starts getting bucks. I think I got $20 on that. Oh, that's an old bet. Multi, that's the one that I made, and I changed it, cashed it in, lost $1. Anyway, I was $6.40 up for the weekend, but that call from that referee was absolutely disgusting, in my opinion. Get back. Yeah. Let's get back. Live show. There we go. So we're back. There was another terrible decision on that card as well. The Elwin Soto versus the Japanese guy. What's his name? They call him the Lightning Boy. Soto was winning the fight, no doubt. He was landing the heavier shots. Lightning Boy was throwing a lot of punches, a lot of pitter-patter punches, really, but I thought he was still not doing too bad in the fight. He was throwing punches back, and then out of the blue, this ref steps in and stops the fight. And it was like the 8th or 9th round or something. Yes, the Lightning Boy was taking a few shots, but he didn't seem really badly buzzed, or he was throwing punches back and landing punches, but this dude just stops the fight. It was grossly stupid. Alright, so I'm back to the chat here. Give me a sec, y'all. I will post a link in the chat so anybody can join if they like. What's a spot? Where are we? There's a window. Link to join. Why can't I type? There we go. Now it's working. Okay, so there's the link if anybody wants to jump on and have a yarn. Got a bit more to go through yet. I'll pin that to the top so it doesn't disappear. And just jump on if anybody wants to jump on. Hopefully I've sorted the link properly this time. And we can get it sorted if anyone wants to come and have a chat. I had Canelo 77-75 up at the time of the stoppage, says Adam Fahey. Yeah, I had it 5-3, but I could see 4-4 or 6-4. Sorry, 6-2 Canelo, but I think that's a bit of a reach. So yeah, I see a couple of people had Billy Joe Saunders winning the fight. I can't see it. Let me actually, I've got my scorecard right here. What have I got? I had Billy Joe winning the first, Canelo winning the second, third, fourth, Saunders winning the fifth, Canelo winning the sixth, and I think the sixth was a close round. You could have given that to Billy Joe, maybe. Had Billy Joe winning the seventh and Canelo winning the eighth. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit! I have it 4-4. 1, 2, 3. Billy Joe winning the first, fifth, sixth. Yeah, that's it. First, fifth, and sixth were Saunders rounds to me. But you could have gotten close with the fourth, I believe, too. Maybe even this. No, I see some people gave Canelo the seventh, but I thought that was a pretty tight round. I thought Canelo landed the heavier shots, but after round sort of 6, I was starting to see it looks like Billy Joe's starting to feel those heavy punches, and I was starting to think, oh yeah, here comes my stoppage. Please make it to round 9, Billy. So my bet was screwed, but I'm glad that they called it the 8th round, because my hedge came through and covered my ass for the weekend, so it's all good. 2 very close rounds. Yeah, I agree, Hannibal. Totally. Good to have you in, brother. Canelo just went up a gear. Yeah, the 6th and 7th. 6th, I think, in particular, to me, Billy Joe looked like he was a bit baffled. Canelo looked like he didn't really know what to do, but at the same time, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if he's just trying to get Billy Joe to punch to blow out a bit. You know, get to the edge of range, make him punch, use some defense. Don't waste any energy. Wait for him to blow a bit and then try and pour it on. We can be skeptical about that as much as we want. It's just an opinion. The only person who's really going to know is Canelo and possibly Eddie Reynoso. But he did say prior to the fight that he's going to stop Billy in rounds 8, 9 or 10. And guess what? He stopped him in the 8th. Wow, at the end of the 8th. And that injury, I think it was at the start of the 8th round where he picked it up. You see his eyeball go black straight away, filled with blood. And he was trying to defend himself for the rest of the round, just trying to get out of the round. I was actually a little bit surprised that they called it off straight away. I thought they may have tried to tend to him and have a good look at it throughout the break between the rounds, but they didn't. As soon as Billy told Mark Tibbs, "I can't see," Mark Tibbs waved it off straight away, and the ref obliged. I had 5-3 to Canelo. Expect some rounds is solo judge. Same solo judge. Solo judge? That means there's usually 3 judges, man. There was 3 of them. Fractured orbital. You can't call him quitter going out. Well, you can call him a quitter, but you know, like Billy Joe did to Daniel Dubois, if you want to call someone a quitter without having been in that situation yourself, you better not hope it happens to you and you quit, because you look like an absolute hypocrite if you do so. So I think Billy Joe deserves a bit more respect than he's getting. He certainly made the fight very competitive, and I enjoyed watching it. Down the line, when Billy Joe's fully healed, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between the two at 168. Like a comment I dropped on my Discord earlier, I don't think there's anybody else in the division that realistically has a better chance of beating Canelo than Billy Joe does. I mean, there's Boo Boo Andre there, who's very skilled and difficult, but he doesn't have any power. He's not going to get any respect from Canelo, and I think it'd be the same sort of tactic. Warm into the fight, download your information, come around 7 or 8, start pouring it on. The mover ain't moving so much, and that'll be all over. I don't think Caleb Plant's got a shit show in hell of beating Canelo Alvarez. Caleb Plant will get planted like a freaking tree, stuck on the canvas. The one I really would like to see, and I think is competitive, is Dimitri Bivol at 168 versus Canelo Alvarez. I think that's a good fight, but it seems Bivol is happy at 175. Maybe he thinks there's better money there. Maybe it's a bit different now that Canelo's at 168. He has said in the past he can make 168 no problem. That's Bivol. He's not very big for a light heavyweight, so good fight, but Canelo's going to be chasing that last belt before he tries to aim for somebody who's not even currently in his division, I imagine. But at the same time, Canelo's always into chasing a real good money fight, and I don't know if Bivol's a very good money fight. Not if he's got no belts or anything at 168. So it is what it is, man. Karma ain't a bitch, karma's a busted ass face. And Raphael Dawkins. Just like the other day when we were talking, I was commenting about that busted leg in MMA. That guy who broke Silver's leg ended up busting his leg. Yeah. In that case, karma wasn't a bitch, karma wasn't a busted ass leg. Plant will be blowing by round 5. with these body shots. Yeah, he's not the highest volume fighter is Caleb Plant, and he likes his straight punches and a bit of a left hook, but what else is there to trouble Canelo? You know, he's got height and reach, but we've seen Canelo overcome height and reach easily against somebody like Sergey Kovalev, who I think undoubtedly hits harder than Caleb Plant. So, yeah. Bivol has the best chance in my opinion. Upset the apple cart, but Eddie don't want to promote him. Anyway, yeah, well, he is a matchroom fighter, isn't he? But Dimitri Bivol, but he don't seem to be getting much done. He had his little tune-up a couple of weeks ago. It was okay, but I don't know, is there a co-promotion clash there that's not working properly? Why doesn't Eddie want to promote him? I like Dimitri Bivol. He's definitely worth promoting. If you put the time and money behind him, he could be a superstar in the sport, particularly at 168, I think. The MMA break was horrific. Yeah, it was. Yeah, just like the silver busted leg too. Just ask Wilder. That's not very nice, Kevin Worrell. What up, Marla? Yeah, Stephen. Fighters for Canelo Triple G. Canelo Plant, Benavidez. Oh, Benavidez, actually. He has trouble making 168. We've seen him lose his belt on the scales. Was it last fight? A couple of fights ago. I think he's better suited at 175. But he's a bit of a monster at 168. It kind of makes me think he has so much trouble making weight. If he just went up to 175, would he have that much power? Would he not be as drained? Would he be more of a beast at 175? I'd like to see him fight up there. It is what it is. Terviev, Benavidez at 178. That's a fight I want to see. I want to see Bivol Canelo at 168. So 175, not but shit, I better go and jump into the Discord because Steven's already in there and I'm not there. Sorry, mate. Here I am. Sorry, buddy. I didn't even jump in. How are you? I see you in there, Marla.
Yep, I'm just, yep, how's it going, man?
Yes.
Sweet.
Sweet as. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to jump in the chat myself. How long you been sitting there?
Oh, no, I was reading the chat.
Oh, sweet.
So I've been here for about 5 minutes, but I was just reading the chat, so.
So did I catch you right? You didn't manage to see any of the fights over the weekend?
No, I watched, I didn't get it. No, I didn't get a stream for it. I went on Sky to see if they were showing it, but it was on DAZN, so they didn't. But I tried to go on YouTube to get a upload of the Saunders fight, but that was last night and no one had uploaded it, so I'm going to have to go later and have a look and see if someone's loaded a copy of it. Sounded like a great fight. I was on G Funky's channel. He was doing a live commentary, and it sounded like a great fight. So I want to try and hopefully find a copy of it somewhere. It sounded very competitive.
After we get off here, I'll show you how you can get fights, mate. I can't tell you on here. We'll get in trouble. But yeah, it was a great fight, man. I enjoyed the whole card. I see a lot of people saying, the card was trash and blah, blah, blah. Maybe I enjoyed it a bit more because I had a multi-bet on pretty much every fight on the card. So it's always a bit more fun when you got something on it.
Yeah.
But no, it was a pretty good weekend of fights. Did you manage to catch that Liam Smith and Kurbanov fight on very early on Saturday morning? I suppose you wouldn't have seen that one either.
Oh, no.
That was a good fight. that was a good fight. Went the distance. Kurbanov got the nod in a tight decision. Beefy, Liam Smith brought his volume game, and he stood up to Korbanov's skilled flurries. I mean, I don't think Korbanov was ever going to stop him. He's not renowned for his power, but he certainly has a lot of skill. So that was an interesting one to watch as well. But something I wouldn't mind talking about, and now that you're here, I'm sure you have an opinion on it, is Michael Hunter. After losing the purse bid for an IBF eliminator against Filip Hrgovic, has decided, nope, I don't want that smoke. Apparently the purse bid was won by Eddie Hearn for around $600,000, and Michael Hunter's cut was around $350,000. So I wouldn't have thought that would have been too low to get to where you want to go. But what are your thoughts on the situation, man?
I was surprised by that, but I just posted a link in the chat that the next in line is Joseph Parker.
Yes, the next available opponent is Joseph Parker. That is correct.
It's quite exciting.
Yeah, indeed. I just don't think David Higgins is going to let that happen. Not only that, but because Joe thinks he wants to be a bit more ready before he gets into a title shot. Hey, Mr. Boxing today in the house as well. Good to have you in, brother. And, you know, do some more work with Andy Lee before he makes another run at a title, which is fair enough. There's not a lot of money in a Hrgovic fight, as we've seen by the purse bid, and fighters like Joe are used to earning 6 or 7 figures for their fights these days. But ultimately, it's a path.
What an opportunity.
Yeah, it's a path to get to where you want to go. So,
it is, man. I would take the fight. If you back yourself to win it, I'd take it.
Yeah,
it's going to get you in a prime spot, man. Yep. It'd be a good fight too.
Mr. Boxing, yeah, I had a bit of a rant about Aguilera at the start of the stream. If you wanted to scroll back and have a look sometime, but that dude, I hope he doesn't get any work ever again. That was disgraceful, but I think the referee's got to be partially to blame as well. You don't cave into someone's acting. Should have been a TKO. End of story. Well, yeah, Frank Sanchez. The more and more he fights against the level of opposition he's slowly creeping up against, I'm kind of having my doubts. I mean, he's got skill and he's got speed, but he doesn't seem to have much power to be able to trouble too many people. I know Nagy Aguilera is fairly durable, but there's a few guys he's fought that he should have stopped. And as for calling out Tyson Fury after beating Nagy Aguilera, you joking, man? He's never gonna get that fight unless he fights somebody of note, man. So
the Chisora rematch is still attractive. As Kevin Noira was commenting on it, it's still an attractive fight to see them go at it again because the first fight was good.
I agree, and I think it's probably, if you're thinking financially, it's probably the better fight because they're likely to try and put it on pay-per-view again. I think they'd have to beef up the undercard compared to the last one to make it any kind of success, but it's either that or a potential White rematch, but I don't think White wants that smoke while he's sitting on that interim and mandatory spot against Parker.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think they could have, if Fury and AJ are confirmed, they could have Chisora Parker on the undercard? Would that work?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's what Chisora suggested when Joe said, "Yeah, let's do it again in the post fights." So why not? It's a good one to have on a undisputed card. I'd like to see them stack it all up with heavyweights, but that's me being a biased heavyweight fan.
Saw something yesterday about Eddie Hearn's going to be announcing the Fury AJ fight in the next week or something. I don't know if that's true, but I saw it somewhere.
How long we've been hearing that, man?
No, I know, but I'm just hopeful. You know, it'll be a great fight.
I've gotten to the point.
If they're worried about the losing because they can't have a big gate for it because in the UK with the COVID, I think they could. Why don't they hold it in Texas?
Yeah, why not? You can have 70,000 people in a crowd down there, or 75,000 people. But I think they're planning on having a crowd in, what was it, Saudi, where they were going to go anyway, by the sounds of it. Or somewhere in the Middle East. They're keeping that a bit tight, but somewhere in the Middle East. But when it comes to talking about that fight getting made, it's like, wake me up when you're ready to go, man. Otherwise,
it's like Spence Crawford.
Yeah, or Mayweather Pacquiao, you know, shit's taking forever. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you lose the excitement factor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Boxing today, yeah, Hearn has to stop giving announcements about upcoming announcements. That's it, yeah. I mean, it seems like Eddie's doing all the work and Bob's not doing squat and Frank's not doing anything either, but people keep hounding him. It's a fight everyone wants to see so bad, so I mean, if he's approached by media, he's got to say something. I'd just say hurry up and wait. It's coming. That's all you need to know. But I hope it doesn't take too long, because in the meantime, these guys are gathering rust, eh? So.
Yeah, and you end up with a fight that's not that quality because they're just not sharp. So yeah, I hope they get it going.
I didn't ask your opinion. Do you think if Parker versus Hrgovic is ordered by the IBF, do you think Joe would entertain it, having no promoter at present?
Yeah, God. I think they would entertain it just because of the value of the fight. If they feel they can win it, and it's going to get them in such a good, strong position, I think they would entertain it.
Okay. Fair enough. They just have to be careful if they end up going to purse bid and it doesn't get the desired amount and they want to pull out after that. We know what happens to fighters who go through a purse bid and then pull out. Dillian White got absolutely nailed. He got dropped completely from the IBF rankings when he pulled out after losing the purse bid to Pulev.
Yeah, Michael Hunter got dropped to 11.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they kept him in the rankings, to be honest. The IBF, do they like Michael Hunter more than they like Dillian White?
Yeah.
Seems pretty biased to me, but in all reality, I don't think there's going to be too much money in the fight against Hrgovic at present, unless it's on a decent undercard, but still, that's not going to affect the purses, is it? Depends. Are you hungry enough to just take the money? Think you can get that position and get the bigger paydays down the track, which I think that's the mentality of Philip Hrgovic. But yeah, the other way
Parker.
Around,
yeah, Parker. He's already pretty well placed with the WBO.
He is.
So you wonder if they may just say, "Well, we're already in a good spot. We don't need it." It's going to be interesting to see which way they go.
Mr. Boxing, no, I didn't see that Abdi versus Malawi upset. A while back. I thought you were meaning over the weekend. I might have seen a couple of clips of that fight, actually. Still on my watch list. Okay. Yeah, we'll go and have a look at that later on. Cheers for the heads up, brother. We'll go and have another look. Maybe it's my old memory failing me. Tend to forget which fights I've seen. I've seen so many. So I'll go and have a look at that. Appreciate the heads up, but yes. Right, so yeah, Michael Hunter. What's he doing? I've heard a rumor that he might be getting into bed with PBC. That would explain a lot of why he's turned us down out of the blue after, calling out every heavyweight under the sun, being ordered to get into a negotiation with Charles Martin, and Charles Martin bailed. He didn't want that smoke. So Philip Hrgovic's next in line. And now that Philip wants to fight, Michael doesn't. So it's either the money or he's getting into bed with somebody that's not going to be working with the zone or Matchroom. In my way I see it.
Yeah, because when you look at a guy like Michael Hunter, I mean, he's been desperate to try and get the fights. He's been calling everyone out. And the fight for him would have been so valuable because if he could win that fight against Hrgovic, he's got a fight with AJ, which is going to set him up for life. It's surprising he didn't take it. Is he not confident? Is he not confident against Hrgovic?
Yeah, well,
no, he just.
I would have been picking Hrgovic in that fight, but I thought it was a very good fight. But in saying that, it's just the style that made me want to pick Hrgovic in that fight. I'd pick Hunter against White. I'd pick Hunter against Parker. I'd pick Hunter. Who else would I pick him against? Charles Martin. I'd pick him against him. There's lots of fights with their styles that Michael Hunter can win, I believe, at the top of the heavyweight division. Certain styles, the long, straight, tall punches could be a bit more of a problem, like the AJs, the Hrgovics, the people who hit hard with long straight punches and they are bigger than 6'5", could be problems for Michael Hunt. I really hope he comes out with a more quality fight than the one he's just turned down, otherwise he's just going to look like a selective ducker. Okay? I want to take the fights that I think I can win. Anything that's too risky, I'm going to bail out on. That's not cool.
That's the risk too. The risk, you get offered an opportunity and you don't take it. Say, well, if you're not motivated to take the opportunities we're offering you, he won't offer any.
Yeah,
he could find himself out in the cold completely.
Exactly, blacklisted, like Nagy Aguilera is going to be from now on. Yeah. I hope that dude's paycheck gets halved.
That was embarrassing. I watched your video. I saw the video of it. Thought that was terrible.
Hunter could be mid-drug cycle. Yeah, well, I did see Mauricio Solomon pointed out that Michael Hunter has missed 2 voluntary drug tests for the WBC's clean boxing program. But hasn't been any kind of disciplined or anything at this point. But I dare say if he misses any more tests, we won't see him in the WBC rankings anymore. He will disappear. Where Hunter is in the WBC rankings. Oh, he was in there.
7, I think.
Okay, 7th. That's about where he has been for a while, I think. So he hasn't been disciplined at this stage. WBC, and there's Michael Hunter at number 7 under Joseph Parker. Joe Joyce at 5. He reads at 4. Now, this rumour that Hunter's getting into bed with PBC that I've heard going around, the only thing I can think of that would make Hunter turn down that Hrgovic fight would be a fight against Deontay Wilder. Or possibly Andy Ruiz, but I think Andy Ruiz is probably going to fight Luis Ortiz. Don't know what the hell Deontay Wilder is up to. He's in the gym. Many of his supporters still think that he's going to get that 3rd fight against Fury next. I don't see it happening, to be honest, but I'm not going to comment too much on that because
he looked sharp. Yeah,
he did in that.
Looked sharp on the pads.
Yeah. Having Malik Scott as his new head coach. He looked pretty sharp on the pads, alright. So
yeah.
I look forward to seeing him in another fight, but I hope it's not too long until we see him in action again.
Yeah, he's got to get back into it. How old is he? 36 or something?
3 or something.
30s. something. Yeah, he's got to get. Yeah, he's been out for a while, so yeah, he's got to get back into it, get back on the bike, get some knockouts, and look good, and create some pressure for a Fury to fight him again at some point.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the. So what's age? Oh, he's 35. Okay, a couple years older than I thought. Oh, say his date of birth. Here's his age in that. It doesn't say his birthday. It used to. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, hopefully we'll see him back in the ring soon, and we can see if that sharpness is going to stick on the night, and see what he can do from there. Waiting on something to happen with Dillian White as well. Where's he going to go next? Is he going to sit on that title this time after losing it?
Because who's he ranked with?
WBC, he should be number 1. Oh, Deontay Wilder number 1. Number 2, Alexander Usyk. What the hell?
I just
Dillian
not
White,
updated.
Yeah. No, he's got a belt. He's got the interim belt, so he's up there with Tyson Fury above the rankings.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the interim title, so he's also mandatory. Holy moly! The WBA has 4 belt holders at present.
No,
I thought Robert Helenius had dropped that gold belt, but he's back on there as holding it. Trevor Bryan has the regular title. Manuel Charr has the regular title in recess, and Anthony Joshua at the super. So, right, looking for Bogdan Dinu's at number 2 in the WBA. For God's sake. Looking through the WBA, I can't see Dillian White at all. So I think the governing bodies have dropped him out of the rankings because he's holding a version of a title with the WBC. So basically, he can fight anyone he wants. And it looks like it would only be sanctioned by the WBC. Frank Sanchez is up to number 6 with the WBC now after that win over the weekend. I wonder if that's refreshed yesterday. 9-7 and Romanov. Okay, yeah. Dillian White's not ranked anywhere besides the WBC because he's got that belt. So, what's he gonna do next? I wouldn't put it past him to have some kind of mid-level tune-up. Maybe somebody like a Johan Dorpa he hasn't fought, or I'm sure he'd like to get his hands on Robert Helenius and try and do a proper job on him, which I think he eventually would, but you saw Helenius rock him in the second round, also breaking his hand at the same time, then run like a runner after that because he was hurt. But Dillian needs some action before he ends up challenging for that WBC title whenever it may be. I expect the WBC may come out with some kind of time frame in the near future about when Dillian might get his shot. Footwork's still a bit clunky after a few combinations. Talking about Wilder in the in that training video. I'd like to see him bring his feet a little closer together for his stance, so he can be a little bit more mobile. It's all fine and dandy when you've got a smaller opponent, But when you've got an opponent about the same size as you, you need to be a bit more fleet of foot than what he is, I think. But certainly his punches look fast and sharp. And good to see him moving his head a little bit more than we've seen in the past. I guess it's probably a bit of a bonus having somebody as big as Malik Scott on the pads and knows what he's doing as well. So he's used to having Mark Breland on the pads, or JD's the pad holder. He ain't no trainer. But anyways.
Yeah. I'd love to see Wilder work on the uppercut more, eh?
Yes.
Get the uppercut going a lot more, because these guys saw that he can't fight inside against Fury. He was totally incapable. So they're going to try and pressure him. And if he had a good uppercut, when they're trying to get in on him, he's going to have that weapon to... Riddick Bowe was a tall guy, but he had a really good uppercut. So did Lennox Lewis.
Yep.
It was a great weapon that they could use against shorter guys.
Pretty much everybody that fights Deontay Wilder is expecting that right hand, and they can use that duck underneath it. But if he throws the right hand and it misses, but comes with the left uppercut as they're trying to get under it, there's no way out of that, man.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's a good trap.
You're done. Yeah. So, hopefully he'd pay a bit more attention to his coaches and maybe being brought a little bit more down to earth after taking the loss. Some of the stuff that was coming out of Deontay Wilder's mouth pretty much seemed like he considered himself a god. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and I think Deontay had crossed that line, but that's just my personal point of view. Hopefully he's a bit more humbled and can take a bit more information from his coaches, and a bit of constructive criticism can go a long way sometimes, especially after taking a loss. You tend to listen a lot better, so fingers crossed he can do a lot better in the future, but we'll see. He's training for a fight. Let's get it. Reality's voice in the house. Good to have you in, man. Chisora could probably bum rush Wilder. I don't know, man. Maybe. I remember Wilder's 6'7" and Chisora's only 6'2". It's not like he's fighting somebody 6'4" like White or Parker. Substantial size difference once he steps in. Get somebody like Wilder. You see the difference when he fought Tyson Fury, and I think most people would agree Tyson Fury don't hit as hard as Deontay Wilder. Not saying he hits soft, but I don't think he hits as hard as Deontay Wilder. But it could be a good fight. I mean, it's a similar sort of style matchup as White versus Wilder, when White is in his pressure mode, not the back foot boxing mode. Also, like earlier in his career, that style was used against Wilder from White. It could be extremely effective as well. You could throw somebody like Alan Babbage in there and try and see what happens. It'd probably be a good one to have for sparring. Bigger version of Alan Babbage would be a good one though for Wilder. Teach him how to deal with pressure. So,
just looking here, Reality's voice says Chisora could probably bum rush Wilder. He probably could, but Chisora's not hard to hit.
Yep. And
it would be if he could get inside, he could give Wilder some real problems, but it would be getting inside without getting cracked.
I mean, Chisora is durable, but he can be sparked. See what David Haye did him. If he had continued against Tyson Fury the second time, I think that would have happened to him again. I think Deontay Wilder hits hard enough to be able to spark Chisora coming in, but at the same time, if Chisora managed to avoid that right hand or a potential uppercut on the way in, and he got there and started winging away, who knows how Wilder would deal with it.
Oh, that's what I mean. As I say, if Chisora could actually get inside, he's great body shots, and he's powerful to the head. Whether he can come up top with those head shots off the body shots, he's very dangerous. It's just it's getting in there.
Yeah.
It's whether or not he can get inside without being caught. Same with Dillian White. Dillian White fights Wilder. It's going to be whether he can get inside or not.
Yeah. I would also have to consider if Wilder's going to fight either of those guys, surely he's going to do some work on his clinch game. So once they're inside, he's going to try and shut them down anyway. You know? But certainly interesting. But until PBC lets their fighters fight DAZN fighters, we're probably not going to see those types of fights. However, Derek Chisora isn't contracted to Matchroom or DAZN. He's only been, mind you, neither is Dillian White. They're not actually contracted DAZN fighters. They both work with Eddie Hearn on a fight-by-fight basis. So I can understand why Chisora can't put a signature on lines, because he said it so himself. He's an asshole. He's a prick to work with. And he comes out with this stuff like the day before, oh, if I don't get to walk out last, then I'm not going to fight. No one's going to work with somebody or offer to sign somebody for any time of term deal with that sort of mentality. Dillian White's got his own promotional outfit that he runs, so I can understand why he's not signed to DAZN. But I guess, now that that's brought up, it is a possibility if Al Heyman wanted to approach either of those guys, they wouldn't hesitate to jump in the ring with Wilder. I don't imagine. What are your thoughts? Would they?
Especially Chisora, he'd take it.
He would.
Dillian. I don't know if Dillian would take it because he at this point in time he feels like he's close to a title shot. He may not risk it, but I think Chisora would. He'd go for it.
Yep. Yep. The conditions have to be right for Dillian to take a fight. We've seen that in the past. Lost the purse bid against Pulev. Terms went right against AJ for the second time they were thinking about fighting. But then on the other hand, you turn around and Parker versus White was made in 2 days. Yeah.
Yeah. They both wanted that. It suited them, because there was a good reward in that fight for whoever won.
Yeah. Chisora would definitely try to invest to Wilder's body as well. Yeah, definitely. Chisora is just so damn hittable. He is. His defense is pretty much non-existent. It's walk in, when I get into range, I'll swing my head to the left, then I'll throw a jab to the body, and then I'll try and come over the top with the right hand. And if that doesn't work, I'll throw some hooks inside to the body and hope something lands. Defense is not in his vocabulary. It's next for sure.
So you got Josh Taylor and Ramirez this month.
Yes, been waiting for that one for a while. That's going to be an interesting fight.
22nd, I think that is. Great one.
Yeah. I will be picking Taylor in that fight, I think. I think he's got more skill. I don't think he hits as hard as Ramirez, and I think Ramirez is a bit too reckless. But if he catches Taylor on the chin, it could be good night in one shot. So
yeah, I'm going to have to do a bit of study on that fight. I have to look at some of Ramirez fights.
It's a bloody good fight. It's a bloody good fight. I'm looking forward to it. Is that an undisputed fight as well? Three belts.
What do we got here? Boxing rankings. You got Haney's fighting Linares this month too, which will some.
That's
interesting.
Yeah, that's a step up for Haney because
you step up fight. Yeah,
nobody wants to bloody fight him because he's so awkward and skilled. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot of power, but Linares is pretty quick himself. He can box. I'd expect Haney to win that, but possibly on points.
Okay. So I'm just checking. You've got Ramirez has got the WBO and WBC. Taylor's got the IBF and the WBA.
Yes.
See? Yep. Huge fight.
Oh, is that at 135 or is it 130?
140. 140.
Okay. Devin Haney's not hanging around at 135. He can't get that fight with Tio, so he's going to move on. Fair enough.
Yeah.
One punches. Oh, what do we got here? Wilder return back to bum fighting. I don't know. I think he's entitled to somewhat of a tune-up fight after taking a loss. But you know, we don't want to be seeing him fight somebody like Chauncey Williver or anything like that. You know, we want to see.
No shit, man.
I mean, a Charles Martin or Andy Ruiz or
Andy.
Even somebody. Well, Andy's not really a tune-up, is he? And Charles Martin kinda isn't that much of a tune-up either. He's not doing too bad for himself at the moment. Maybe even somebody like would the PBC be willing to sacrifice someone like Jermaine Franklin?
Yeah.
You know, he was supposed to have a fight recently, but got COVID, so he had to pull out. Who was he going to fight? The Canadian, was it Stephen Shaw? I think they was going to fight, and he had to pull out because of COVID. That was a good fight, and I would have been picking Shaw in that fight. I honestly don't think Jermaine Franklin deserves to have his O still. I think he's lost at least once, possibly twice on cards, but it is what it is. Yeah. I don't know. Who else do you think would be a decent tune-up for Deontay Wilder, but realistically, someone he can fight as well? Oh, Christopher Lovejoy. I just seen in the comments there. Sorry.
Would Carlos Takam? So one of those sort of style guys?
Carlos Takam, not a bad shout, but I'd prefer Oscar Rivas. I think it'd be better. At least he's not.
Oh, true. Yep.
Yeah, that's a decent one. Something like that.
Yep, Oscar Rivas. Just going through the heavyweights here, and definitely Oscar Rivas. What else have you got in here?
He's a Yvonne Michelle fighter, I think, but they sometimes work with PBC, so it's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So Wallin.
What gets destroyed if he can't get inside, but if he can, moved, can close, its game on. Yeah, so, that's you, Stephen. About White. Yep. Against Wilder.
Hellenius. Yeah, Hellenius. It's a good pick, eh?
He's still bound to be PBC for one more fight. You know, they've been talking about getting this Kalnacki v Hellenius rematch going for it's over a year now or something, isn't it? And it just hasn't come to fruition, so why not throw Hellenius in there with Wilder? Why not? And I expect Wilder will beat him, but Hellenius is pretty dangerous in those first 5 rounds, and he hits freaking hard, man, so he's got a shot in that fight. It's kind of like the Gerald Washington fight. I thought he was cleaning Gerald Washington up, but he started gassing, got caught, night. Charles Martin, who had beaten Gerald Washington, knocked him out. He also... I was going for a triangle theory that doesn't work here somewhere. Where was it? Yeah, Martin beat Kalnacki. Kalnacki,
that's who I was there.
Kalnacki.
I was about to...
Yeah, that's another one that Wilder could fight, but I think he wants to try and redeem himself against Hellenius.
That's what Mr. Boxing today just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who he will fight then, eh? It's sort of, jeez.
I think... Where you go, man?
Andy Ruiz looked vulnerable against Areola early on.
He did. I see a few people saying, he's lost too much weight and he hasn't got enough power on it. Well, you know what? He was the same weight in that fight as he was against Joseph Parker.
Okay. Was, yeah. 256.
I think it may be a case of him having to get used to the weight a bit better. I don't think he's lost any power. I don't think he was actually a huge puncher in the first place. He's just got a lot of speed and he can break you down. You know, he hit you with 3 or 4 punches before you can land one counter on him.
Yeah, put that volume on you.
Yeah.
And also with AJ, he hit AJ on the temple.
Right.
He hit him right on the sweet spot, you know, and that can stun anybody. And then he followed up with more punches quickly and just got him rocked. So
yeah,
he's not a one-punch knockout guy, Andy.
No. There's the triangle that I was trying to point out. Mr. Boxing Today helped me out. Kaunaki beat Martin. And then Martin beat Washington. And Washington got beaten by Hellenius. I thought Hellenius was in my triangle somewhere. Did Kaunaki beat Hellenius? Is that what I was getting? Who cares? But anyways, there's those few fighters all together that are about the same level. Hellenius, Kaunaki, Martin. I think you could throw Rivas in there as well. And I wouldn't be upset if Wilder fought any of those 4 guys. As a tune-up coming back. But I'd prefer Rivas as my favourite out of those. He's only 6 foot tall. You imagine the height disparity in that. Huge. Anyways, right. Any other fights you'd like to bring up that you're looking forward to, or ones that you'd like to get?
I was just looking at this month and schedule. You got Josh, Devin. That's about the 2 for this month, I think. That's the 2 big ones. I can't see anything else that's coming up that's of any.
I'm on Box Rec as well at the moment. I'm just try something here. Change it to heavyweight only schedule and see what's coming up. Having to scroll through so many divisions. Go. Okay. Don't know. Looking for names that I recognize at the moment. Oh, Dempsey McKean. Dempsey McKean fighting in Manfield, Queensland. Where's the date? Saturday the 15th of May, next weekend. So Dempsey McKean, unbeaten Australian southpaw, 6'6", 18-0, will be taking on Kiki Toa-Latali. He's the New Zealander. He's 7-0 with 2 draws. He had a draw with Julius Long. With this Kiki Toa-Latali name. I think he's a Napier boy. Hastings Napier area. He's 6'4". Yeah, just bringing up his record here. Yes, his last fight was a PTS draw. What does PTS mean?
Points.
Went the distance. You thought it'd just be a UD or split decision or majority draw. What's PTS mean? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, 6'4". He's got 6 KOs out of his 7 wins. And that we won. Julius Long, you all know he's a 7'2" monster. Jason Aloisi, he's a guy that knocked down Hemia Hio, I think. No, he's not. That was Alapati Asa. Jason Aloisi. Seen him fight on some New Zealand cards. Colin Wilson, another one that he's beaten. He's 35 and 32. This Kiki Toa-Latali hasn't really fought anybody. I think Dempsey McKean's going to knock him the hell out. But that's coming up this weekend coming. Something no doubt that'll be on main event in Australia. It's in Queensland. Okay. See what happens with that.
Who does Josh Taylor fight with? Is he with DAZN or PBC? Who's he with? Matchroom?
Matchroom, I think. Matchroom.
Matchroom. Yeah, hopefully he'll be on Sky. New Zealand.
Possibly, yeah. Oh, it usually is the UK ones that are on. Well,
Yeah, they usually show.
we've got DAZN down here now though, so it might not be.
They don't charge much too. Good value. What is it? I checked it.
$2.99 a month.
Yeah, mate.
If you're gonna sign up to DAZN, talk to somebody who has DAZN already, and ask them for a referral link. And whoever you get the referral link from will get a month free on their subscription.
Oh, okay.
So sort your mates out. I'm currently going to sign up. I'm going to get a referral from Mr. Hannibal B, hopefully. And I'm not sure if the receiver gets some kind of month free as well. I don't know. But $2.99 New Zealand a month. He's not going to miss it. Not going to miss it. Christian Hammer, Victor Vickhurst, and Manuel Cha are all fighting on next weekend as well. So Manuel Cha is going to be fighting Christopher Lovejoy. As we know, Manuel Cha is a regular champion in recess. And I don't know what this is going to do to that status, because Manuel Cha and Trevor Bryan were ordered to have their fight within 120 days of Don King screwing over Manuel Cha with not giving him the correct documentation so he could get a working visa to fight Trevor Bryan. So if he fights this other dude, this Christopher Lovejoy, the Enigma, is what I've been calling him, he may drop out of champion in recess status. And I don't know whether he's still going to get a shot at Trevor Bryan or not. Don King may have got his wish. Also on that card we have Victor Vickhurst, who's an up-and-coming prospect, 6-0, and he's going to be fighting Jack Krzysztof Pistic. I don't know who that is, to be honest. He's 11-0 though. Ooh, look at this. Who's this guy? 11-0, 9 KOs. Got no height and reach registered, so I don't know anything about him. Born in Poland. There's a Facebook account on his BoxRec. I wanted to go look at that. Just because I don't know anything about him, I'm going to have to say Victor Vickhurst is going to win that fight. I didn't even bother looking at the other guy's 11-win record. Actually, I have a quick look, just in case. Recognize anybody? They'll all be Polish. Dude. No. I don't recognize names in his 11 wins. Oh, hold on. Robert Angel. No, I don't recognize anybody in there. So that should be a straightforward Victor Vickhurst win. And of course, everybody knows who Christian Hammer is. 25-7-0. He's going to be fighting like Patrick Cowell. Don't know who he is. He's 7-24. Oh, that's a tune-up.
Bit of a non-event. Yeah, a bit of a non-event, really.
Yeah.
And your Char's fighting on May 15th. Yeah, Christian Hammer.
Yeah, that's that same card.
Yeah.
Victor Vickhurst. So that's next weekend. What other cards have we got of note here? We've got a couple more heavyweight cards on I don't recognize any of the names. Alexander Stepanov. 4. Still looking at May 15th for heavyweights here. That one. Televised anyway. Vladimir Hergov. 4-0. Tyler Jafori.
God, they reckon, I just read here, Jono,
Yeah.
Saturday the 5th of June, it's scheduled for Daniel Dubois, Bogdan Dinu.
Ooh. Wow,
June.
that'll get Daniel Dubois straight back in the mix. I hope his orbital bone is fully healed by the time. What date did you say that was? 2nd of June.
Saturday the 5th of June at
5th
the
of June.
Champion Boxing Gym, Johannesburg, Georgia, USA. Daniel Dubois, Bogdan Dinu.
Okay.
You
Looks
got
like
Ajit
it's-
Kabiel, Kevin Johnson on the 5th of June as well. That's in the United Kingdom.
Boxrec. Daniel Dubois 15-1 with 14 KOs, 1 loss. Yeah, it's confirmed, man.
So yeah,
Wow.
he had a good surgery or something. His surgery's worked out all right, obviously, and
Yeah,
boy, back into it.
that's on the card. Nothing else confirmed on the card as yet. But you heard it here first. Daniel Dubois is going to be back against Bogdan Dinu on Saturday, the 5th of June. It says London, United Kingdom on Boxrec. It said America on this thing you were looking at, didn't it?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out a bit closer to the date, but on Boxrec here it's saying it's in London, United Kingdom. And I imagine that's probably where it's going to be. I can't see the sense in having it in the States. I mean,
No, I was thinking that. UK.
with Bogdan Dinu is... Where's he from? Is it some... Budapest, Romania, where he lives. Birthplace, Budapest as well. There you go. Bogdan Dinu, 6'5", no registered reach. This dude's a problem for 4 rounds for a lot of elite heavyweights. He can box, but he always runs out of gas. That's his problem. So if he can't get the job done in 4 against an elite level fighter, he's going to lose. He's 20-2 at present. 2 losses were to Jarrell Big Baby Miller, who... When did he get him? Pulev got him in the 7th, and Miller got him in the 4th. So there you go. And in both of those fights, he was having some decent success, more so in the Pulev fight. Because as we know, Pulev doesn't bring pressure like Miller does, and we all know what pressure does to boxers who like to punch and move. Usually gasses them out. That's why Miller got him quicker. But, yeah, looking forward to that fight as well. Hopefully Bogdan Dinu's been able to concentrate more on boxing. He is like a special, what is it, a riot police or SWAT team member in Budapest. So boxing is like his passion, it's like a hobby. He loves his job, so hopefully he's been able to concentrate more on his boxing and get his conditioning up to scratch. saying McKean v Honey or oh yeah, Carly Meehan's son. That's right. What's his name? I think Honey's going to be busy because he's going to the Olympics. So McKean v what's his name?
I can't remember it.
Yeah, Carly Meehan's son. He's a beast too, but he doesn't seem to be very active. Oh, come on, Mr. Boxing today. I know there's a YouTube delay. What's his first name? Wills. Is it Wills? Willis. That's it. Willis Meehan. That's a good fight, but I'll bet you Dempsey McKean won't want that smoke. That Willis McKean is a freaking beast, man. I'd like to see McKean v Hergovic or something like that. That's the type of aggression that Meehan has. Same sort of thing as Philip Hergovic. But I think he's faster, more athletic. He used to be a rugby league player, Willis Meehan. So, but good shouts there, Mr. Boxing today. I don't think Honey's too far away. Once he finishes the Olympics, I think we're going to see his pro career kick right into gear. He had a fight just the other week too, didn't he? This Hooney Boxrick. He's 3-0. His first fight was for the Australian title against Fainga Apilu, or Django Apilu is his nickname, and that was a great fight. If you haven't seen it, you can go to the Big Boys Boxing Discord, click on the fight replays tab, and there is the full fight between Justice Huni and Fainga Apilu for the Australian title right there. He had his second fight against a 3-0 prospect. What's this guy's name? Arsene Fosso. I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna try and pretend I do. And his fight recently that he had was on 10th of March, and that was against Jack Maris. There's another one I don't know. He was 2-0. But those are the kinds of guys he should be fighting for his first few fights, his last two. He shouldn't have been fighting Django Apilu, who's 13-1. Well, he was 13-1 at the time. But he's a beast. Fainga Apilu, he's the guy I want to see Hemi Ahio fight. That's fire, that fight. Find out who that boss was to. For Django Apilu, I got a split decision loss against Christian Noki Taev. I don't know who that is. That was back in 2000. Oh, so yeah, Apilu's a tough cookie. Hasn't been stopped before, and I want to see him face Hemi the Hoot Ahio. There's a few fights on the horizon that could be made. Forward to seeing where we're going. The COVID vaccination jab is getting distributed around the world, so it shouldn't be too long before the majority of the planet is immunized and we can get boxing back to how it's supposed to be with full crowds, and looking forward to it. The Boxing Lounge, Tommy Tempo in the house. Good to have you in, brother. Alright, so that's probably about it for today, team. If you get the chance, if you see that referee who made that decision for What's his name? Aguilera. Blah, blah. Let him get away with a technical decision loss. Kick that ref in the nuts for me, will you? I don't want to see that referee working again. That was crap. But anyways, any last words there, Marlo, before we
Yeah, no, pretty much covered everything. So, yeah, that'll be it for today, and I'll see you on the next one.
Sweet as, bro. Thank you very much for popping in. Always appreciate
Good,
your
man.
company.
Sweet,
And
mate.
thanks to everyone else who popped in the chat as well. Mr. Boxing today. We had Reality's Voice. We had the Boxing Lounge. We had Adam Fahey. We had Stephen 4722, who of course is with me right now, aka Mala. Who else did we have in here? Might be pretty close to all we had.
Raphael Dawkins.
Oh, Raphael Dawkins dropped in for a little as well. Good to see him as always. And I don't think I missed anybody else. Oh, what's that? Oh, Hannibal B. Can't forget Mr. Hannibal B. Good to have you in, man. And I think that's the roll call complete. Oh no, Kevin Worrell. Also, good to have you in, man. Do appreciate every single one of y'all. Apologies if I have missed anybody else. It's not intentional. Trust me. I think we're good. Alright, man, so that's it from us today. Hope you enjoyed. We'll catch you up next time. And take it easy.
Later, Jono.
And that is a wrap for today. Hope you all enjoyed today's session. If you have, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so not to miss future content. If you'd like to get more involved with the channel, off air, and with the subscribers, you can head to the main channel page, and up on the right of the channel banner there is this Discord invite link. Once you click on that, it will take you to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. Over here we have multiple platforms for chat. We have general chat, which is anything boxing. We have live fight links, where I drop links to fights within 24 hours of them screening. We have live fight replays. I drop the occasional replay here so you can come and watch them. We also have Fight Night Chat, which is for people who play Fight Night Champion. I play a bit of it. You can come and talk strategies, tips, whatever here. But the main thing here is this live panel voice channel. If you ever want to get involved on the live panel on YouTube, this is where it runs from. You come here, simply click on it, and you are in the live chat. And see the green rings come up when I speak. That means your mic is active. Down the bottom here, if you want to mute at any time, you can do so, like that. And if you want to get out at all, there's this hang up button right here. And that's all there is to it. So like I say, I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing. I will catch you next time. Peace.